Hello, I'm Keith Beane with Gordon Food Service, the South Florida region of Florida. Today I'm talking about a couple of things that are near and dear to when I grew up as a kid, and that's Southern cuisine. Now we're taking a little twist on this, and one of them is going to be a veg-centric dish. You may ask what a veg-centric dish is. Well, basically it's something that we're moving vegetables to the center of the plate. So today I took a traditional collard green dish and I mixed with some red chard, some lucinato kale, and I braised it down similar to a risotto with some pork belly and andouille sausage with pork bone broth. So let's go off to the kitchen and I'll show you how to put it together. Thank you. First thing we want to do today is we want to take the fibrous stems of these greens. We want to peel them out, right? You want to take these out and you want to save them for later so that you take the tough part away from the vegetable. And we've got some wonderful lucinato kale, which is also referred to as black kale. Very common in Italy. This is like one of the main dishes of minestrone. And we're also going to take some red chard, beautiful organic red chard, along with the kale and the collard greens, all organic. You can extract a lot of different flavors from these stems. Now, the first step after that is we want to take our little bit of oil. We're going to take the pork belly. We're going to start that off a little bit sooner than the andouille sausage because the pork belly, even though it's cooked, it's not very brown, so we're going to get a little bit of color on that as we go. So as that's cooking there, we're going to take a little bit of the andouille sausage and get that incorporated as well. Now, so with the rising cost of pork, beef, and chicken, chefs have decided to take a little bit different approach with the vegetables. And as soon as these sausage and pork belly have a little bit of color to them and some of the fat is rendered out of it. Okay, so now that this is browned off a little bit, we're going to reserve a little bit of this pork belly and andouille sausage because we're going to use this as garnish. But we're going to keep the rest of it in there to flavor the dish. I'm going to add some shallots to get a little bit more aromatic flavor into this dish as well. You can see that's going to melt very nicely in there. We're going to have a little bit of fond on the bottom of the pan. As that is cooking, basically what we're going to do is we're going to add the greens already prepared, and we're going to wilt these down. We're going to add a little by little because they're not all going to fit in the pan at the same time. And as we're stirring those in there, we're going to add a little bit of salt, some fresh pepper, we're going to get those working around into that nice pork fat that's in there with this. See how that wilts down just like that? And it's going to give you more room to put the rest of those greens into your dish, your pan. And I think we can add the rest of these. Now, you can cook these greens to order in your restaurant if you'd like, or you can make a big batch and heat them up to order. The main thing we're doing here is trying not to overcook the greens. We're going to add up pork bone broth. As we add this pork bone broth, we're going to cook it similarly to like risotto. Now, why would we do that? Well, as we're doing that, the vegetables will cook down without becoming mush. So let's talk about bone broth. The benefits of the bone broth basically are that they can transform your health by releasing the collagen, glucosamine, proline, glycine, glutamine that helps save your joints and muscles. So you will help boost detoxification, you will aid in metabolism, you will also aid in joint rehabilitation, joint growth. You can also be good, very, very good for your skin as well. So we're going to cook this similar to a risotto. And as that cooks down, you're going to tenderize your vegetables. Okay, with all that being said, what we're doing, because we took the stems out of the leaves, it's going to cook much quicker and be much more tender, and they're still going to have a bite. And that's what you really want to do. You don't lose the integrity of the vegetable. It's still going to be there. Still have a great color. And you're not turning the vegetable into mush. Now, we're going to find a few ways to plate these up today. Because one can be a side in a cast iron skillet like this, which you can get a different price point for. You can use it as a shareable in this cast iron. Going to be a little bit more in there. You're going to get a little bit more money for this because you're going to share it with more than one person. Look at all the different textures and colors of the greens there. All right, top that with a little bit of the pork belly and the sausage. So there's two different ways right there. You can menu that. And the last way is our entree. So here we have the entree portion. You're going to get a little bit more money for this. You get anywhere probably $12 to $15 for a plate like this. As we get that nice rich broth in there, some of those aromatics, we're going to top it off with some more of that protein. So that protein and that little fat in the pork is going to give that elevation of flavor to these greens, and voila, there you have it. If you have any further questions, please contact your culinary specialist or your local sales representative for Gordon Food Service. Thank you.